I am curious on your perspective on a new songwriter starting off, right? So we were talking about this before we started the actual stream. You know, one of the things I'm passionate about is talking about like inspiring people to say, look, I'm not going to say you're going to be the next Ed Sheeran, but
Yeah,
like, I'm also not going to say you want like that you can't be. You know, who
sure.
am I to tell you that you can't? So I'm from the mentality of just at least try. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So,
yeah,
but my perspective, I'm curious. I've always debated this. Like, say I'm a new songwriter, I'm just starting out. I see a lot of songwriters, particularly in the country folk scene, like want to move to Nashville, and I'm actually from the opposite mentality of like, why try to go to somewhere where it's so inundated with so many other songwriters? Why not where you are? Try to make a name for yourself, and just like with the internet, does it even matter? I'm curious on your perspective on that.
yeah. I mean, country seems like it definitely helps to be here
Okay.
among, you know, as far as like probably writing for sync, TV, that kind of stuff. I don't know if that matters where you are, you know, but I think in Nashville, it definitely helps to be in this community. But the the community itself is not that big, you know. Actually, I was Leanne Phelan, who I was talking about earlier. She's got a series, like a webinar series, that she's been helping a lot of songwriters. And so I did an interview, a webinar with her the other day, and I talked about this. Basically, like for me, I had when I was 18 in West Virginia, I happened to meet this guy named Pat Thrall, who's a New York guitar player who was with Meatloaf for years and years and years. And so they were in concert like in my little town. He happened to see me play at the bar below at the hotel bar where he played. So I was 18 years old. He took me aside. He's like, "Who are you?" And gave me his number. Then he became like his mentor to me. He'd let me call him and talk to him for a long period of time, and then
Wow.
just give me all this advice. And basically, because of him, he let me know like this is possible because I'm from West Virginia. That kind of stuff isn't possible. Like you don't
Yeah.
think you can do this because it's such a small place, and Nashville or LA, New York seems so big. But having that kind of mentorship early on
Yeah.
just showed me that this is something that's actually possible. So I've been
Yeah.
doing that with a lot of people here lately. I'm doing the same thing,
That's
like
cool. That's really
yeah,
cool. Good for you.
it's fun, man. It's fun for me. Um, yeah, because that's the thing. It's like it's just a mindset.
Yeah, it
Uh,
really is.
totally mindset.
It really is, and it's such a small world, man. It's so funny you say that because my high school music teacher was actually the pianist in Meatloaf.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
such a
wow.
small world,
But
man.
then
It's
my
so funny.
brother toured with Meatloaf for 12 years
Oh
too.
my
He
gosh, man!
was
It's
a
such a
guitar
small
player.
world.
Yeah, yeah. So he got that gig because we met Pat Thrall that night in West Virginia all
Yeah,
those years ago. Uh, but
that's so funny.
yeah. So it's really just again, it's a mindset. It's knowing that it's going to be tough. It's not going to happen super fast. I mean, it does happen fast for some people, but that's
Yeah.
rare, man. But if you
Hmm.
just have the mindset like, oh, this is going to happen for me, usually it's gonna. Like if
I
you just
agree.
slog it out, you will get noticed.
Yeah, I agree. I think the persistence and the perseverance and just the patience, the three
Yeah.
P's, right? The
Yeah.
PPP.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, but it's true, man. I agree, man. And it's funny how things like work out in the sense of like I feel like it's every story you hear is it's nothing, 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 nothing for years, and then all of a sudden it's almost everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like if you could just wait for that and hold
Yeah.
on to the little breadcrumbs, like, oh hey, look at this, my first 1,000 listeners or my first
Yeah.
100,000 plays, or it's like, and then say, hey, this is proof that I can actually do this. Hold on to those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think right now it seems easier than ever to get your name out there because when I
Sure.
first started this, obviously this none of this existed, so it was all playing in clubs, constantly
Yeah.
playing, playing,
Yeah.
playing, playing, playing. You had to be seen in person to get noticed. But now, like on Instagram, and I'm seeing these young
Yeah.
players that are posting. It's like, holy shit, they're like amazing
Yeah.
players.
That's actually a great follow up to this question of so you say get your name out there. Say you get your name out there. How do you keep it out there, and how do you keep longevity out of it? Because I feel like with the
Yeah,
internet, there are so many. Like you just said, that one kid gets discovered on Instagram.
yeah,
He does really well for a quick hot second. He has
yeah,
a million streams, and then you don't never hear his name again. Like,
yeah,
how do
yeah,
you?
yeah.
What's your perspective on longevity? Like when, for example, like Sam Hunt was one of like since we're talking about him a little. I heard that song when we was talking in it, like that talking
Oh
sing.
yeah, take your time.
Yes, exactly. Thank
Yeah.
you. Like that was a huge hit, but then he able the reason he's still around is because he had another hit and then another
Yeah.
hit. How do you, what's your perspective on how you create that longevity?
I mean, to me, it's like for one, I, and especially like as a not even as an artist, as a touring musician, like if you want to play and be on these big tours, uh, like the biggest factor to me is you got to be a cool hang too. You have to be a guy that people want to be around because there's in this little tiny town in Nashville, the most talented people in the world are in this tiny little place, and there's crazy musicians in this place. And
Yeah,
same with New York, just insane musicians. So, you don't have to compete with the best players in the world because I am definitely not that. I'm a good bass player, but I'm not like that super crazy riff guy and
yeah,
like
yeah,
play real fast. But I just kind of learned early on too. It's like it's about the hang. You have to be a guy that people want to be around. And like
yeah,
the guys like Keith Urban and Dirks Bentley and Kenny, all those dudes that have been around for so long, when you hang with them, like there's a reason. Like they're
yeah,
super likable dudes and they treat people
yeah.
with respect too. That's a big thing. Those cats, the ones that I see that have had real longevity, always treat their people with respect.
Hmm.
And the ones that don't are gone quick.
Yeah, it's super
Yeah.
fascinating.